The Great Hall of the Galactic Council was huge, so huge that Li Kang felt very small as he walked to the human section. His black suit looked simple next to the shiny crystal bodies of the Vorthak aliens. His human skin seemed plain compared to the floating gas clouds that were the Nelhari. Li Kang was Earth's top diplomat. He had been coming to these meetings for 5 years. Every time he hoped things would get better. Every time he was wrong. Behind him walked Park Soon and Kim Yura. Park Soon carried the heavy data pad with all their requests. Kim Yura had the translator device, even though most aliens here spoke perfect English. They just chose not to when talking to humans. "Here comes the violent species," whispered one of the krill insects. Its voice clicked and buzzed. Other aliens laughed. Li Kang kept walking. He had heard worse. The council leader was a tall Vorthak made of blue crystal. Light moved through his body like water. When he spoke, his voice rang like bells. "The council will now hear the human requests," the leader said. He made it sound like humans were asking for candy. Li Kang stood up. "Thank you, council leader. Humans request equal trading rights with all council species. We also request permission to build colonies in the outer ring systems." The Nelhari ambassador floated higher. She was a cloud of green gas in a clear container. "The humans want more space? They already have 17 systems. That is more than enough for such a young species." "Young species?" Park Soon whispered. "We've been in space for 200 years. Kim Yura touched his arm to keep him quiet. Krill drone clicked its mouthparts. "Humans are known for violence. Why should we give them more worlds to destroy?" Li Kang felt his face get hot. "We have never destroyed any world. Our colonies are clean and peaceful." "Humans fight wars," said the Vorthak leader. "We have seen your history. You fight each other. You fight nature. You even fight your own planet." "We stopped fighting wars 50 years ago," Li Kang said. "We work together now. We came to space in peace." The council members made sounds that might have been laughter. The Nelhari's gas swirled faster. The krill clicked their teeth. The Vorthak's crystal bodies flashed bright colors. "Peace?" The Vorthak leader's voice got louder. "You ask for weapons permits. You ask to build military ships. You call this peace?" "We need defense ships," Kim Yura said. "Space pirates attack our trade vessels. We lose cargo and crew members." "Then stay in your home systems," said a new voice. It came from the back of the hall. A Valdris alien stepped forward. The Valdris looked like tall, thin humans with gray skin and no hair. They were known for being very smart and very mean. "Ambassador Theiss," the leader said, "please share your thoughts." Theiss smiled, showing sharp white teeth. "Humans complain about pirates, but humans are the pirates. They take what they want. They push into space that belongs to older, wiser species." Li Kang's hands became fists. "That is not true. We buy our colony rights. We follow all council laws." "You follow laws because you must," Theiss said. "But your nature is violence. Your species is dangerous. The council should limit human expansion, not increase it." Many aliens nodded. Some made happy sounds. The Vorthak leader's crystal body flashed. "Red. The council has discussed this. We will not give humans more colony rights. We will not give humans equal trade status. Humans must prove they can be peaceful for at least 100 more years." Park Soon stood up fast. His chair fell over. 100 years? That's 4 human generations." "Sit down," the leader commanded. "Humans will speak only when given permission." Park Soon's face turned red, but he picked up his chair and sat down. Li Kang took a deep breath. "Council leader, we have been peaceful. We have followed every law. We have helped other species with medical aid, technology, and disaster relief. What more can we do?" "Learn your place," said the Nelhari ambassador. "Young species must earn respect. It takes time. Much time." "How much time did it take for the krill to get council membership?" Kim Yura asked. The clicking sound stopped. The hall became quiet. "The krill earned their place through wisdom and patience," the leader said. But his voice sounded uncomfortable. Li Kang knew the real answer. The krill had joined the council after only 30 years in space. They had been accepted immediately, because they were not human. "We request a formal vote on human colony expansion," Li Kang said. "Request denied," the leader said quickly. "We request a formal vote on human trade equality." Request denied. "We request permission to send a research ship to the empty system at coordinates 347-221-88. The leader's crystal body flashed bright red. "That system is off limits to humans." "It's empty," Park Soon said. "No one lives there. No one owns it." "It is in the restricted zone," Theiss said. "Humans are not allowed in restricted zones." "Why not?" Li Kang asked. "Because the council says so," the leader replied. Li Kang looked around the great hall. He saw hundreds of alien faces. Some looked bored, some looked angry, none looked friendly. For 30 years, humans had tried to be good neighbors. They had shared their technology. They had helped fight diseases. They had rescued alien ships in trouble. They had followed every rule, obeyed every law, and respected every custom. And still, they were treated like dangerous children. "The human requests are denied," the leader announced. "This session is ended." Li Kang stood up slowly. He looked at Park Soon and Kim Yura. Both of them looked tired and sad. "Actually," Li Kang said, his voice carrying across the hall, "I have one final request." The leader's crystal body flickered with annoyance. "Speak quickly. I request formal withdrawal of humanity from all Galactic Council treaties and agreements." The hall became completely silent. Even the air recycling system seemed to stop. "What did you say?" the leader asked. "You heard me correctly," Li Kang said. His voice was calm and clear. "Humanity withdraws from the Galactic Council. We withdraw from all trade agreements. We cancel all defense pacts. We end all cooperation treaties." Theiss laughed. "You cannot survive without the Council." "We will find out," Li Kang said. The Nelhari ambassador's gas cloud spun faster. "You are making a mistake. You need us more than we need you." Li Kang smiled for the first time in years. "We came here seeking partnership. We found only prejudice disguised as protocol. We offered friendship and received condescension. We shared our gifts and were told we were not worthy." He walked toward the exit. Park Soon and Kim Yura followed him. "You cannot leave," the leader shouted. "We forbid it." Li Kang stopped and turned around. "You cannot forbid anything anymore. We are no longer bound by your rules." "You will regret this," Theiss called out. "You will come crawling back." "No," Li Kang said. "We will not." He walked out of the Great Hall. His footsteps echoed in the silence. Within 1 hour, emergency messages reached every human colony, every human ship, every human station in the galaxy. "Operation Exodus begins now. We are going home." The message was simple. The meaning was clear. Humanity was leaving, and they were never coming back. Admiral Han Jiho stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Earth's Pride. Through the big windows, he could see dozens of human ships gathering near the military station at Kepler 442. Every ship was full of people, supplies, and everything humans needed to go home. "Admiral," said Captain Yu Mirai, "we have received confirmation from all colonies. Operation Exodus is working perfectly." Han Jiho nodded. He was a big man with gray hair and kind eyes. But today, his eyes looked sad. "How many people are we moving?" 12 million humans from 47 colonies, Yu Mirai replied. "Plus all our ships, equipment, and supplies. It was the biggest moving operation in human history, and they had to do it fast before the aliens tried to stop them. On the planet, New Seoul, Dr. Seo Na-young was packing her laboratory. She had spent 8 years studying alien plants and animals. Her work could help cure diseases and grow better food, but now she had to leave it all behind. "Doctor," said her assistant Kang Woo-jin, "the transport ship leaves in 2 hours. SEO. Na-young looked at her collection of samples. Each one represented months of careful work. "Can we take any of this with us?" "Only personal items," Woo-jin said sadly. "The aliens might say we stole their property." She picked up a small plant in a clear container. It glowed with soft blue light. This plant could clean polluted water. It could help millions of people, but it came from an alien world, so she could not take it. Seo Nayung put the plant back on the shelf. Let them keep their secrets, she said. We will find better answers on our own. Far away, on the mining world of Titan's Edge, engineer Lim Daeho was shutting down the fusion power plant. This plant provided electricity to 3 alien planets. Without it, millions of aliens would have no power for their cities. Sir, said his team leader Cho Hyuntae, the Vorthak are calling us. They want to know why we stopped the power. Lim Daeho did not look up from his control panel. Tell them to read the news. We are leaving. They are offering to pay us double to stay. Triple would not be enough, Lim Daeho said. We offered them friendship. They gave us insults. Now they can make their own power. He pressed the final shutdown button. The great fusion reactor went quiet. On 3 alien worlds, the lights went out. In the commercial district of Nexus Station, merchant Jin Hyori was selling her shipping company. She had built it from nothing over 20 years. Now she was selling her ships for much less than they were worth. This is crazy, said the krill buyer, clicking his mandibles. Humans are making a big mistake. Jin Harry signed the final papers. Maybe, but it is our mistake to make. You will lose everything, the krill continued. Your business, your money, your future. I will keep my dignity, Jin Harry replied. That is worth more than money. She took her payment and walked away. Behind her, the krill was already planning to raise shipping prices. Without human competition, he could charge whatever he wanted. Captain Oh Sun-ho commanded the colony ship New Dawn. His ship carried 50,000 people from the agricultural world of Green Valley. These people had spent 15 years turning empty land into beautiful farms. Now they were leaving it all behind. Captain, said his communications officer Lee Yuna, we are getting messages from the planetary government. They want us to stay. What are they offering? Oh Sun-ho asked. Better housing, higher wages, and voting rights in local elections. Oh Sun-ho laughed, but it was not a happy sound. 15 years too late. Where were these offers when we asked for them? Through his ship's cameras, he could see the farms below. Golden wheat fields stretched to the horizon. Green vegetables grew in perfect rows. Fruit trees heavy with harvest lined the rivers. It is beautiful, said Lee Yuna. Yes, Oh Sun-ho agreed. And we built it. We turned empty dirt into paradise. Now let them try to keep it alive without us. The New Dawn lifted off, leaving the farms behind. Within a month, without human care, the crops would start dying. At the council headquarters on Nexus Prime, analyst Bae Minji was studying the economic reports. The numbers made her feel sick. This is very bad, she told her supervisor. A Nelhari named Wind Through Crystals. How bad? The Nelhari asked. Her gas cloud was a worried yellow color. Humans were involved in 34% of all galactic trade, Bae Minji said. They provided 60% of our manufacturing technology. They ran 45% of our shipping routes. Wind Through Crystals floated higher, which meant she was nervous. Surely other species can replace them quickly. Bae Minji shook her head. The krill can only do simple manufacturing. The Vorthak focus on energy work. The Valdris make weapons. No one else has the range of skills that humans have. What about the mining operations? Humans ran 78% of deep space mining. They had the best equipment and the safest methods. Wind Through Crystals turned orange with fear. How long before we have problems? We already have problems, Bae Minji said. 3 Vorthak worlds lost power today. The krill mining operations are slowing down. Food shipments are delayed because human transport companies are gone. On his private ship, Captain Yoon Hyuk was collecting the last humans from diplomatic stations. His ship, the final word, was Earth's last official vessel in council space. Sir, said his pilot, Nam Jisoo, we are receiving transmission requests from 17 different alien governments. What do they want? Yoon Hyuk asked. They want to negotiate. They are offering better deals for humans to stay. Yoon Hyuk looked at the messages on his screen. The Vorthak offered energy-sharing agreements. The Nelhari promised cultural exchange programs. The Krill suggested joint research projects. All things that humans had asked for many times before. Send the same reply to everyone, Yoon Hyuk said. What should I tell them, sir? Tell them it is too late. Back on Earth, Director Ryu Dongwon was meeting with the Emergency Council. Leaders from every human colony were joining by video link. Status report, Ryu Dongwon said. 85% of our people are already on their way home, reported Admiral Han Jiho. The rest will leave within 1 week. What about our assets, our buildings and equipment? We are taking what we can carry, said Engineer Park Chulman. The rest, we leave behind. That represents trillions of credits in value, said economist Song Myong. And? Ryu Dongwon asked. We are giving it all away for free. Ryu Dongwon smiled. Good. Let them see what they lost when they rejected us. Professor Song Yoonji raised her hand. I have good news from the Science Division. Our new manufacturing systems are working perfectly. We can build everything we need without alien help. Even the advanced materials? Ryu Dongwon asked. Especially the advanced materials. Our new methods are actually better than what the aliens use. Through the conference room windows, Ryu Dongwon could see human ships arriving at Earth's orbital stations. Each ship carried people, knowledge, and experience from across the galaxy. We offered them partnership, he said to the council. They wanted servants. We gave them our best efforts. They gave us disrespect. Now we will show them what the galaxy looks like without humans. On the bridge of the final word, Captain Yoon Hyuk watched the last human transport leave council space. His ship would be the final one to go. Sir, Namjasu said. Incoming message from the council leader himself. Play it. The Vorthak leader's crystal form appeared on screen. His usual confidence was gone. Captain Yoon Hyuk, the council wishes to discuss revised terms for human participation in galactic affairs. Yoon Hyuk looked at the message for a long moment. Then he deleted it without replying. Set course for Earth, he ordered. Yes, sir, we are going home. Behind them, the galaxy watched humanity disappear into the dark. And for the first time in 1,000 years, the great council chambers felt very empty. The exodus was complete. Now the real consequences would begin. 6 months had passed since the last human ship left council space. On the crystal world of Vorthak Prime, the great cities were getting darker every day. Technician Shard of Light stood in the main power center, looking at screens full of red, warning lights. The exotic matter fuel that powered their civilization was running out. Without it, their crystal cities would go dark forever. How much fuel do we have left? Asked his supervisor, Ring of Stars. Maybe 2 months, Shard of Light replied. His crystal body flickered with worry. The humans were our main supplier. They knew how to make the special containers that keep the fuel safe. Ring of Stars' light grew dim. Can we make the containers ourselves? We tried. 3 of our best. Engineers died when the containers exploded. We do not understand how humans made it look so easy. Across the galaxy, on the insect world of the Krill Collective, Hive Queen 7th Mandible was facing her own crisis. The great factories that made tools and machines were working at half speed. Report, she clicked to her worker drones. Production, down 60%, buzzed worker drone 442. The rare metal processing machines are breaking. We cannot fix them. 7th Mandible's antennae twitched with anger. Where are the repair manuals? The humans took them. They said the knowledge belonged to their companies. For the first time in collective history, the hive mind was having arguments. Some hives wanted to beg humans to return. Others wanted to try making war on Earth. The unity that made Krill strong was breaking apart. In the floating cities of the Nelhari gas giant homeworld, the atmospheric processors were failing one by one. Engineer Cloud Dancer floated frantically between control stations trying to keep the life support systems working. The backup systems are offline, reported her assistant Mistwalker. Without the human-designed redundancy protocols, we cannot maintain stable atmospheric pressure. Cloud Dancer's gas form swirled with panic. How long before the city falls? Maybe 3 weeks. 4 if we are lucky. Below them, the crushing depths of their gas giant world waited. Without the floating cities, the Nelhari would die. Captain Nam Sujin piloted her stealth ship Silent Observer along the edge of what used to be council space. Her mission was simple: watch and report. Earth wanted to know what was happening to their former neighbors. Captain, said her sensor operator, Kim Tae-jun, I am picking up distress signals from the Valdris system. What kind of signals? Multiple. Ships requesting emergency assistance. It looks like their trade network is collapsing. Nam Sujin smiled grimly. The Valdris had been the most vocal about humans being dangerous and uncivilized. Now they were learning what dangerous really meant. Any responses to their distress calls? She asked. None. Everyone is too busy with their own problems. On Earth, President Park Kyung-hee was reading reports from across human space. The news was better than anyone had hoped. Our manufacturing output is up 300%, reported Industry Minister Cho Jae-hyun. Without alien restrictions on our technology, we can build things we never dreamed of. What about food production? The president asked. Up 250%. We are growing more food on Earth than we ever grew on all our colonies combined. Our new farming methods are incredibly efficient. Dr. Shin Ye-jin, the head of Human Science Division, had even better news. Madam President, I am happy to report that we have achieved matter-energy conversion at 98% efficiency. The room went quiet. Matter-energy conversion was theoretical science. If humans had mastered it, they could create anything they needed from basic materials. Are you certain? President Park asked. Completely certain. We can now convert any matter into any other matter. We can make food from rocks, we can make metals from air. We are no longer dependent on mining or farming or any traditional resource gathering. Minister Cho Jae-hyun whistled softly. The aliens never achieved anything close to this level of technology. That is because they were comfortable, Dr. Shin replied. They had us to solve their problems. They never needed to push the boundaries of science. Meanwhile, the emergency messages reaching Earth were getting more desperate every day. Captain Yoon Hyuk, now serving as Earth's communications monitor, read them aloud to the Defense Council. From the Vorthak Council, we humbly request immediate energy assistance. Our people are dying. We offer full partnership and equal representation in exchange for help. Response? Asked Admiral Han Ji-ho. Deleted without reply, Yoon Hyuk said. Next message from the Krill Collective. We acknowledge past mistakes in our treatment of humans. We request technical assistance with our manufacturing systems. We offer 50% of all production in payment. Response? Also deleted. The messages kept coming. The Nelhari offered to share their atmospheric technology. The Valdris offered their weapons research. Other species offered planets, resources, even their own people as payment for human help. All messages were deleted without response. Dr. Lee Bong-soo sat in his laboratory on Mars, working on advanced medical research. As the former head of interspecies medical cooperation, he knew better than anyone what was happening in the galaxy. His computer chimed with an incoming message. The sender information made his heart skip. Worker Drone 777 of the Krill Collective. He had worked with 777 for 3 years, developing treatments for the genetic plague that attacked krill larvae. They had saved millions of young krill lives together. The message was not in words. It was a mathematical sequence. 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 9, 2, 6. Dr. Lee recognized it immediately. Pi. The universal mathematical constant. But this was not just pi. The sequence had small changes, variations that spelled out a message in mathematical code. Help. Please. Dying. Remember. Friendship. Dr. Lee stared at the message for a long time. 777 was risking punishment from the collective by sending this. Krill were not supposed to have individual relationships with other species, but the two scientists had become friends. and now his friend was asking for help. Dr. Lee composed a reply, then deleted it. He tried again, then deleted that too. Finally, he closed the computer without sending anything. Some friendships, he realized sadly, were casualties of war. On the bridge of the Silent Observer, Captain Nam Sujin was watching something amazing and terrible. The great trading station at Nexus Prime, the heart of galactic civilization, was breaking apart. "Captain," reported Kim to June, "massive structural failures throughout the station. It looks like cascade system failures. How many people are on board?" "Approximately 50 million beings from dozens of species." Nam Sujin watched through her ship's cameras as entire sections of the massive station went dark. Emergency pods were launching by the thousands, carrying refugees away from the dying structure. "Every critical system relied on human engineering," she murmured. "Human maintenance, human innovation, human problem-solving." "Should we offer assistance?" Kim Tae-jun asked. Nam Sujin thought about it. Those were living beings dying out there, but they were also the same beings who had called humans violent and uncivilized. "Monitor only," she decided. "Record everything. Earth will want a complete report." The final message from Nexus Prime came from Station Commander Void Walker, a Valdris who had once testified to the Council about human, dangerous tendencies. To anyone receiving this transmission, Void Walker's voice was weak and frightened. "Nexus Prime is falling. Our life support is failing. Our gravity generators are offline. We have maybe 6 hours before complete collapse." There was a long pause, then. "We were wrong. We were terribly, catastrophically wrong about humans. They were never the danger we were. Our arrogance was the poison that killed the galaxy." The transmission ended in static as Nexus Prime's communications array finally failed. Captain Nam Sujin made her report to Earth that day. "Galactic civilization is ending. The Council species are facing extinction-level events across all their worlds. They are paying the price for treating partnership as weakness and wisdom as foolishness." She paused, then added, "Humanity made the right choice. The galaxy they rejected us from no longer exists." Back on Earth, President Park Kyung-hee read the report to the Emergency Council. "Should we reconsider our position?" asked Minister Cho Jae-hyun. "Those are billions of lives we could save. With our new technology, we could easily help them," added Dr. Shin Ye-jin. President Park looked around the room at the faces of Earth's leaders. "Does anyone remember how they treated us when we asked for basic respect?" The room was quiet. "They made their choice," she continued. "They chose to see us as inferiors rather than equals. They chose to keep us small rather than grow together. Now they face the consequences of those choices." "The galaxy is dying," Minister Cho said quietly. "Their galaxy is dying," President Park corrected. "We are building something new." 2 years after humanity left, the galaxy was dying. Former Council leader Crystal of Truth stood in what used to be the greatest city on Vorthak Prime. Now it was a graveyard of dark towers and broken crystal spires. Most of his people were dead. The survivors lived in small groups, barely staying alive. "How many are left?" he asked his aide, Spark of Hope. "Maybe 10,000 on this continent, perhaps 50,000 across the whole planet." Spark of Hope's light was very dim. "We used to be billions." Crystal of Truth had lost his fancy title. The Council had collapsed when Nexus Prime fell. Now he was just another refugee trying to survive. "The food synthesizers stopped working yesterday," Spark of Hope continued. "Without human maintenance protocols, we cannot repair them. How long can we survive on stored food? 2 weeks, maybe 3. Crystal of Truth remembered the day humans left the council chambers. He had been so proud, so certain that they were making the right choice. Good riddance, he had thought. Now we can focus on civilized species. Now he knew the truth. Humans had been the only civilized species in the galaxy. On the Krill homeworld, something unprecedented was happening. For the first time in their million-year history, the collective was breaking apart. Hive Queen 7th Mandible no longer commanded millions of drones. Her hive had shrunk to barely 1,000 individuals. They were fighting with other hives for the remaining resources. Report from Hive 12, buzzed her scout drone. What do they want? Seventh Mandible clicked tiredly. They want to trade food for manufacturing equipment, but they also want to know if we still have contact with humans. Seventh Mandible's antennae drooped. Tell them what I tell everyone. The humans are gone. They are never coming back. We are alone. The scout drone hesitated. Hive Queen, I have individual memories of working with humans. They were kind to us. They treated us as persons, not just parts of the collective. This was dangerous talk. Individual memories were forbidden in Creel society, but these were desperate times. I remember too, Seventh Mandible admitted quietly. Human Dr. Li Bongsu saved many of our larvae. He worked day and night to find treatments for the genetic plague. Do you think he would help us now? Seventh Mandible was quiet for a long time. Even if he wanted to, his leaders would not allow it. We chose to be enemies instead of friends. In the floating cities of the Nelhari homeworld, only 3 cities remained airborne. The others had fallen into the crushing depths of the gas giant, taking millions of lives with them. Cloud Dancer was now the emergency leader of New Wind City, the largest surviving settlement. She spent every day trying to keep the atmospheric processors working. Engineer Cloud Dancer called her assistant Stormfront. The backup power generator is failing. How long do we have? Maybe 6 hours before we start falling. Cloud Dancer looked out at the swirling clouds below. Somewhere down there in the high-pressure depths were the ruins of 7 great cities, the graves of her people. Send another message to Earth, she decided. We have sent 47 messages, Stormfront replied. They do not answer. Send another one anyway. The message was simple. We are dying. We were wrong. Please help. Like all the others, it disappeared into silence. Captain Nam Sujin continued her patrol missions along the galactic border. Her job was to watch and report, nothing more. But what she saw was hard to watch. Captain, reported her communications officer Lee Jihoon, I am intercepting emergency broadcasts from 17 different systems, all requesting immediate humanitarian aid. Any responses? None. The remaining species cannot help each other. They do not have the technology or resources. Nam Sujin looked at her long-range sensors. They showed the locations of human colonies before the Exodus. Every one of those worlds was now empty, or occupied by desperate aliens who could not maintain the systems humans had built. What about the Valdris? She asked. Their military fleet is down to 12 ships. They used to have over 3,000. The rest have been scrapped for spare parts. The Valdris had been the most arrogant of all the species. They had called humans barbaric and unworthy of space travel. Now their great empire was reduced to a few broken ships and dying worlds. On Earth, Professor Song Yunji was presenting her latest breakthrough to the Human Science Council. We have successfully opened a stable wormhole to the Andromeda Galaxy, she announced. The room exploded with excitement. Andromeda was the nearest major galaxy to the Milky Way. If humans could travel there, they would have access to billions of new worlds and possibly new friends. How stable is the connection? Asked Dr. Shin Yejin. Completely stable. We can send ships through safely. I recommend we begin exploration missions immediately. Admiral Han Jiho raised his hand. What if there are hostile species in Andromeda? Then we will be ready, Professor Song replied. Our technology is now far beyond anything the old Council species ever achieved. We can defend ourselves. President Park Kyung-hee smiled. Begin preparation for the first Andromeda expedition. It is time for humanity to find new neighbors. Meanwhile, the messages from the dying galaxy kept coming. Captain Yoon Hyuk read them to the Emergency Council every day, as a reminder of what they had left behind, from the remaining Vorthak clans. We offer our entire crystal technology knowledge base in exchange for basic food shipments. Our children are starving. The council members listened in silence. From Hive Queen 7th Mandible. Personal message. To Dr. Li Bongsu. The genetic plague has returned. Our larvae are dying. Please remember our friendship. Dr. Lee Bongsu, who was attending the meeting, closed his eyes. From the Nelhari Emergency Government, we hereby acknowledge human superiority in all technological and social matters. We formally apologize for our past treatment of your species. Please save our remaining cities. How many cities do they have left? Asked Minister Cho Jae-hyun. 3, Yoon Hyuk replied. Down from 47 when humans left. The room was quiet for a long moment. Any responses? President Park asked. The same response as always, Yoon Hyuk said. None. That night, Dr. Lee Bongsu sat in his private laboratory, staring at a medical scanner. The device could cure the krill genetic plague in minutes. He had designed it specifically for krill biology. His friend, Worker Drone 777, was probably dead by now, along with millions of krill larvae who could have been saved. But Dr. Lee did not send the cure. The decision had been made at the highest levels of human government. No contact, no assistance, no mercy. The species that had rejected humanity would face the consequences alone. On the bridge of her ship, Captain Nam Soo-jin received an unusual transmission. It was not a plea for help or a diplomatic message. It was a simple data burst containing coordinates. Captain, said Lee Ji-hoon, this transmission came from the ruins of Nexus Prime. Someone is still alive in there. What are the coordinates? They point to a section of the station that still has power. Long-range sensors show one life sign. Nam Soo-jin thought about it. One survivor in the ruins of galactic civilization. Part of her wanted to investigate, but her orders were clear. Set course for Earth, she decided. We are not a rescue service. As her ship jumped to hyperspace, the lone survivor on Nexus Prime continued broadcasting the same coordinates over and over. A final voice calling out from the grave of an empire. The cascade failure was complete. What had once been a great galactic civilization was now scattered fragments struggling to survive. And in the Sol system, humanity was building something new, something better, something the old galaxy could never have imagined. 5 years had passed since humanity left the old galaxy behind. In that time, they had not just survived, they had become something amazing. Admiral Kang Min-soo, son of the diplomat who had started it all, stood on the bridge of the New Horizon. Through the massive windows, he could see the most beautiful sight in the universe, the first human city built in the Andromeda galaxy. The city floated in space like a crystal flower made of light and metal. It was 10 times larger than any alien structure humans had ever seen. And it was just the beginning. Admiral, reported his navigation officer, Choi So-young. The exploration fleet has returned from the Centauri arm. They found 12 inhabited systems. All of them want to join our alliance. Kang Min-soo smiled. All of them? Every single species. They say they have never seen such advanced technology. They want to learn from us and work with us as equals. This was the biggest difference between the old galaxy and Andromeda. Here, aliens greeted humanity as friends and partners, not as dangerous children who needed to be controlled. Dr. Shin Ye-jin, now head of the Human Science Division, had achievements that would have seemed impossible 5 years ago. Her matter-energy conversion technology could create entire planets from empty space. Her new faster-than-light engines could cross galactic distances in days instead of years. Director, she told President Song Hwimyoung during their weekly science briefing, I am pleased to report that we have successfully created 3 new solar systems. Each one is perfectly designed for human habitation. Created solar systems? President Song asked. You mean you built them from scratch? Exactly. We converted asteroids into planets, ignited gas clouds into stars, and designed orbital mechanics that will be stable for billions of years. We are no longer limited by finding habitable worlds. We can make them. Commander Ju Hyun-jae led the exploration fleets that were mapping Andromeda. Every day, his ships discovered new wonders and new friends. Captain's log, he recorded. Today, we made contact with the Altarian Republic. They are a peaceful species that has been trying to solve their energy crisis for 300 years. Our basic fusion technology solved their problem in one afternoon. In exchange, they shared their knowledge of biocomputing. Together, we created computers that think like living beings. This was how things worked in Andromeda. Species shared knowledge freely. Everyone benefited when someone made a discovery. It was everything the old galaxy could have been, if not for fear and arrogance. Xenobiologist Yang Xiaoyong sent regular reports about the amazing creatures they found in Andromeda. Unlike the aliens of the old galaxy, these species were curious and friendly. I have been working with the Kepler Collective, she wrote to Earth. They are a species of living crystals, like the Vorthak, but completely different in attitude. They love learning about biological life forms. Together, we created hybrid creatures that are part crystal, part organic. They are beautiful and intelligent. Earth, the transformation was just as dramatic. The planet that had once been crowded and resource-limited was now a paradise of technology and abundance. Engineer Wan Taehyun had built structures around the sun that collected its energy and converted it into anything humans needed: food, materials, fuel. Everything could be created from pure solar power. We are producing more energy than the entire old galaxy used, he reported to the Infrastructure Council, and we are barely using 0.1% of the sun's output. We could power 1,000,000 civilizations with our current technology. But the most amazing achievement belonged to the exploration teams. They had discovered that Andromeda was full of civilizations that shared humanity's values of cooperation and mutual respect. Captain Li Nara, great-granddaughter of the original ambassador Li Kang, commanded the first intergalactic colony ship. Her crew included humans and dozens of alien species who had become humanity's friends and partners. Status report, she asked her science officer, a being called Brightsong from the Altarian Republic. All systems are functioning perfectly, Brightsong replied in perfect Korean. The new allies from the Spiral Arm Coalition are integrating well with our technology. The biocomputers from the Kepler Collective are operating at 300% efficiency. What about our destination? The Triangulum Galaxy awaits, said her navigator, a floating, jellyfish-like creature from the outer rim. Long-range sensors show over 50,000 civilizations. Most appear to be peaceful and technologically advanced. Li Nara looked at her diverse crew. Humans working side by side with aliens as equals. Everyone sharing knowledge and resources freely. It was the dream that the old galaxy had rejected. Set course for Triangulum, she ordered. Let's see what new friends are waiting for us there. But even as humanity built its new empire of cooperation and wonder, messages still came from the old galaxy. They came less frequently now, and they were always the same. Desperate pleas for help from the few survivors. President Song Hwimyong read the latest reports in her office overlooking New Geneva, Earth's capital city. The city stretched to the horizon, full of towers that reached into the clouds and parks that bloomed with flowers from a dozen different worlds. The old galaxy status report, Madam President, said her aide, Park Jinsu. How bad is it now? The Vorthak are extinct. The last crystal city fell 3 months ago. The Krill Collective has collapsed completely. Individual hives are fighting each other for the last resources. The Nilhari have one city left, and it is falling. President Song looked out her window at the bustling city below. Humans and aliens walked together on the streets. Children of different species played in the parks. Artists from across Andromeda created beautiful works together. Any survivors trying to reach us? A few ships have been detected at the edge of our old territory. They appear to be refugees looking for help. Orders remain the same, President Song said firmly. No contact, no assistance. The old galaxy chose to reject us. We have found something better. That evening, she recorded humanity's final message to their former home. To any survivors in the Milky Way galaxy. 5 years ago, you taught us that we were not welcome among your stars. You were right. We were not welcome among your stars, because we were meant for something greater. You called us violent, but we brought peace to Andromeda. You called us uncivilized, but we built wonders you never imagined. You called us inferior, but we created technologies that make your greatest achievements look primitive. We came to you seeking partnership. You offered us condescension. We offered you our knowledge and skills. You gave us insults and restrictions. You had the chance to grow with us, to explore the universe together, to build a civilization based on cooperation instead of hierarchy. You chose differently. Now you face the consequences of your choices. Your galaxy is dying because you rejected the very qualities that could have saved it: innovation, adaptability, and the willingness to see other species as equals. We have found new friends among the stars, species that welcome us with open arms, civilizations that share freely and grow together, worlds where being different is celebrated, not feared. We are no longer the humanity that asked for scraps from your table. We are the builders of new galaxies. We are the friends of thousands of species. We are the creators of technologies that turn matter into dreams and dreams into reality. You may keep your dying galaxy and your fading empire. We have built something better. This is humanity's final message to the Milky Way. Do not attempt further contact. We have found our true home among the infinite stars of Andromeda, and soon among the wonders of Triangulum and beyond. To those who rejected us, goodbye forever. To those who would have been our friends, we carry your memory with honor as we build the future you deserved. The universe is vast and we have only just begun to explore it. The message was broadcast on all frequencies throughout the old galaxy. Then Earth's transmitters fell silent. 50 years later, Captain Lee Nara's great-granddaughter, Commander Park Hae-young, stood on the observation deck of the Universal Harmony, humanity's first ship designed to travel between galactic clusters. Behind her, the Andromeda galaxy glowed with the lights of 10,000 human cities and 1,000,000 alien settlements. Species from across the galaxy had joined humanity's alliance of equals, creating a civilization that spanned hundreds of billions of worlds. Ahead lay the Virgo supercluster, with its thousands of galaxies waiting to be explored. "Commander," said her first officer, a being of living light from the far spiral, "all systems are ready for intercluster jump." "Crew report," Park Hae-young requested. "All stations manned and ready," came the response in dozens of different languages from dozens of different species, all united in purpose and friendship. Through the ship's sensors, she could detect the faint radio signals from the Milky Way, far behind them now. The signals were very weak. Only a few were left. She thought about her ancestor, Ambassador Li Kang, who had walked out of the council chambers so long ago. He had chosen dignity over acceptance, and in doing so, he had given humanity the greatest gift possible: the freedom to become something magnificent. The Universal Harmony leaped across the void between galactic clusters, carrying humanity and its friends toward new adventures among the infinite stars. Behind them, the Milky Way grew smaller and dimmer, until it was just another point of light in the cosmic ocean.